Good morning to you. This is the February 2nd edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Meteorologist Matthew East here along with you. Our temperatures right now in many spots during the 5 a.m. hour as warm as they're going to be all day. We're going to have a very windy day with falling temperatures throughout the day here across the Carolinas. I'll detail that here as the video unfolds for us, but it's a pretty mild morning and a pretty wet morning too. Right now, a lot of winds out of the southwest across the region, but in pretty short order, we're going to see those winds kicking around to the west and northwest today, and that's going to begin to bring in a much chillier air mass. There you go. As we've gone through the night, we've had this batch of rain moving through the area. Big snowstorm still ongoing in the Midwest and parts of the Northeast, but it's all rain here. There's the radar imagery and perspective here across the Carolinas, and I'll just kind of fly through a couple of the radar images here, and you can see through the Triad area we continue to see some of this rain during the 5 o'clock hour. Band of some heavier rain over here through eastern parts of North Carolina. That moved through areas of the Piedmont further to the west earlier in the night. And back in the foothills, we're beginning to see some of that rain break up, and the back edge of the rain not that far away. That's pretty much it there. Once you get east of the Interstate 85 corridor there in Georgia and South Carolina. Again, pretty heavy still in the eastern parts of North Carolina, some showers through parts of Georgia and Florida. And then notice back in the colder air, even some snow flurries and some light snow in areas like Nashville and Huntsville this morning. So this colder air is knocking on our door. In fact, let me show you that colder air. There's our mild air across the Carolinas, but 34 in Nashville, 30 in Louisville. It is 2 degrees in Des Moines, Iowa, 2 below in Lincoln, Nebraska, Pierre, South Dakota, 18 degrees below there in International Falls. So that colder air is heading our way behind this cold front. Now, very windy conditions today and falling temperatures. Let me overlay the Futurecast modeling here, clouds and precipitation with temperatures. So that's why this map is plotting. And you notice here as we get toward noon, the rain pushing into the eastern parts of North Carolina and those temperatures dropping down into the 40s, upper 40s by lunchtime in many Piedmont spots, snow flying in the mountains today. And then by 5 o'clock this afternoon, the temperatures continue to tumble from there. Now I mentioned the mountain snow, pretty decent little northwest flow snow event. Some of those favored northwest facing slopes could pick up 3 to 6 inches just depending on exactly how this system unfolds. For that reason, you have winter weather advisories up in many mountain counties, especially there the central and southern North Carolina mountain counties, but even the northwest counties such as Watauga and Ashe, you're going to see a little bit of snow out of this too. Now let's talk about the winds. They're going to be very significant. This is the RPM or the Futurecast modeling showing you those winds sustained west and northwest across the Piedmont, 20 to 30 miles per hour. Could easily see some 40 mile per hour wind gusts this afternoon. And for that reason, wind advisories in effect for many locations here across the region. So definitely going to be a windy day. Now tomorrow, much more docile, high pressure overhead. We'll have a good deal of sunshine tomorrow. Pretty cool. Highs tomorrow afternoon in the 40s. And then the question marks begin. We get out to Wednesday, and I think we stay dry, certainly through the day Wednesday. And then as we watch a couple of pieces of energy try to merge together, we'll see if we can get any precipitation in here Wednesday night and in the parts of Thursday. I'll show you the detailed modeling on this in just a second, but here's the NAM, the North American model representation, and you notice it does throw the precipitation back to roughly the Charlotte and Raleigh areas, and it's really a close call with whether or not we thread the needle and get some phasing here. Let me show you that here in greater detail. So here's the 2 pieces of energy we're looking at here. One piece of energy there. This is out at 72 hours off the European model. So this is Wednesday evening. And then whether or not we can see any phasing with this northern piece of energy. Now, if this were to phase, you'd wind up with a big storm system here across the southeast. But here's what the European model does. You do get some interaction there, but it's a little bit late if you're looking for a big storm across the Carolinas. And that's the trend really in most modeling for this phase to be just a little bit too late. So let me show you the European model representation of this here. This is Thursday morning, and it's oh so close. I mean, you have broad area of low pressure off the Carolina coast. You can just see that energy diving in here, and that low pressure strengthening then throughout the day Thursday. But it really only strengthens in time to give certainly some mountain snow, but to really give another pretty good snowstorm to the northeastern part of the country than as you get into later Thursday and Thursday night. Now let me show you some other modeling with this. Here's the 0Z run of the GFS, and I'll show you the 6Z in just a second. But this was Thursday morning, and you notice it does throw some light precipitation up into the Carolinas. Cold enough for a little bit of snow in the mountains in the northwest parts of the state. And then as the colder air deepens Thursday, you get just a few areas of some flurries or light snow, really in many spots across the Carolinas. Here's the UK Met solution, and it is similar to what you just saw on the GFS precipitation-wise, just some really light stuff Thursday morning getting thrown back into parts of the Carolinas. The NAVGEM, if you're wondering, it is pretty suppressed with this as well, not indicating any really significant phasing in time to matter for the Carolinas. Now this is let me show you the 6Z run of the GFS here. This is valid Thursday morning, right around daybreak, and then you go 6 hours later, and you have a pretty little burst of some snow temporarily out toward the Outer Banks, a few areas of flurries or light snow, and many other spots across the Carolinas before that precipitation tapers off. Now again, if you're looking for a bigger storm system, you would need these two pieces of energies to phase, before they get off the coast. If this energy were to dive into that piece of energy right about there, you could wind up with a much more amplified system that would be a more significant snow event. But as it stands now, the phasing looking like it's occurring too late, so I'm at this point going with the idea of a few areas of some light snow or some flurries Thursday morning across parts of the Piedmont zones of North Carolina, but at this point it's not looking like a big deal. But again, it's close to a much bigger system, so we'll keep an eye on it. All right, that is it for today's edition of the video. Everybody have a wonderful day, and God bless.